All right, so the purpose of today's lesson is to recall how to create and interpret a box plot. So this math lab supports what we are doing in algebra, but it does it in a different way, and it does it in different types of activities. So you'll see a lot of the same learning goals and learning targets. And now that, we're actually back to like real instruction, I think it'll be good to support those learning targets also in algebra 1. So today's learning targets, you'll know you met the goals if you can construct a box plot from a data set, and if you can determine the 5-number summary from a box plot. So what we will actually be doing is creating a human box plot. I don't know really how I would record outside because it would have to be outside. I don't have room in here or tape to do the box plot inside. So we're going to do it outside with chalk, and more details on that to come. But basically it'll provide a visual, a memory you can go back to and see why we use the minimum, maximum, quartile 1, the median, the quartile 2 for creating a box plot. So it'll make it easier in algebra when it comes to that. Ignore this. I don't have a note sheet for you today. It's more activity based rather than taking notes, and you don't have a practice for today. All right, but do make sure that the other assignments from when you had a sub are turned in. I'm kind of been behind on grading, but I will soon. I'll get those Google Forms updated. I'll look at your submissions on your worksheets if you resubmitted it. Whatever I check in class, I will update. It's just kind of taking a while, but hopefully get that done today. Schoology is the more up-to-date grade book, and then I have to manually sync it to Infinite Campus. Just know that everything gets graded within 7 days. So if you literally just turned it in, please don't email me to update your grade. Like, I check it all the time and make sure everything's graded within 7 days. So if you're an athlete and you're trying to make sure that you stay eligible, avoid having any missing assignments at all, first of all, because your teachers have 7 days to get it updated in the grade book. So just keep that in mind. I grade it then every 7 days. If it's taking longer than 7 days, if your grade is not improved, then let me know, because then maybe I made a mistake, maybe you made a mistake in turning it in, but otherwise it all gets updated within that time frame. Keep an eye on the upcoming assessments and deadlines. That should say for the binder check, the 29th, not the 19th. I'll fix that later. So that's the expectations. Now on to today's lesson. We're going to start with a warm-up. All right, and first it's just some subtraction, but no calculator. All right, it says evaluate each mentally, and just don't say it out loud, literally just think about it. What we're gonna focus in on are some strategies. All right, so there's the first one. Keep it in your head, that answer. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. And here's the fourth one. All right, so what are some strategies maybe that you use for mental math? So like mental subtraction. Anyone care to share? So what about like the 100 minus 20? What is the answer? 80, right? Do you necessarily need a calculator for that? And why is that? How do you do it mentally in your head? For me, I would just do 10 minus 2, which is 8, and then since we're having an extra 0 on there, then I would tack on that 0 at the end. Anyone have a different strategy that they use? Do you visualize it like this, like how we did in elementary school with like the 0 and then the borrowing and all that? All right, it just depends on what the numbers are. What's the answer, again, without a calculator, for 100 minus 25? 75, and we'll get something different. What was the strategy that helped you with that one? Could have done it kind of like how I did it up here. You could have done like 10 minus 2.5, but I don't think anyone is here did that, and then just multiply each one by 10. So what did you do? All right, discussing your group, something that you did. How was that easy? On the way, I'm gonna check these now. All right, so what's an easy way to remember that? 100 minus 25 is 75. I heard people talking to each other, yes? Good. So if you didn't hear that, she said, since 100 minus 20 is 80, and 25 is just 5 more than 20, then we subtract 5 additional more. Anyone have the same thought? Anyone want to say it a different way? Personally, I think of it as quarters. All right, you get 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Those are easy increments that I remember, so I would probably get this one pretty fast. What about the 100 minus 73? What is that? 27 is correct. Any strategies for that one? Maybe since we know that 73 is close to 75, 100 minus 75 is 25, the difference between them is 2. I sometimes will add in my head, okay, well, what plus 73 will get me to 100? And I think of it that way. I don't want to add a number that starts with 3. I basically want to add it of a 2. So that way I get to 9. And then whatever it is to make that an even 10. Right, that's how I was thinking it. Any other ones you want to share? And what about 100 minus 38? What is that? Quick math. What is it? So if we didn't have a calculator, we wouldn't be able to figure out what 100 minus 38 is. Yes. 62. And how were you able to come to that conclusion? Did you do like in elementary school? 100 minus 38 like that? What did you do? That's something that I would do. I kind of think of it when we're talking about 100, I think of it in increments of 10. Right? So I know that 38 close to 40, 100 minus 40 is 60, but then difference between 38 and 40 is 2. So then make that adjustment in your head. I do a similar thing for adding, right? So it's kind of unrelated to that. If I have like 7 plus 8 and I'm doing that in my head, well, I kind of think of it more like 7 plus 7 plus 1. Right? I know 7 plus 7 is 14, and then that additional 1 makes it 15, and then it's just fast that way. For adding, let's say it was 27 plus 13. For adding, I think of it kind of like elementary school, where you line them up and you literally add and carry that 1 over. And I know that it's 40. Right, so there's a ton of different strategies that'll help you build what we call fluency. All right, so kind of we'll table that for later. What we'll do now is we are going to create a human box plot. So first I'm going to pass out an index card, and you're going to write your shoe size big on the index card. And just to keep it consistent, we're going to do shoe size in men. So ladies, you know how to convert your size to men's size? Is it 1 size down? Is it 2 sizes down? It's 1.5 size down. So like I'm an 8.5 in women, a 7 in men. All right, so ladies, you'll have to make that conversion yourself. Whatever shoe size you are in women, subtract 1.5, and that's your shoe size in men. So I'm gonna distribute that. See? So I'm just gonna kind of go table by table. What are our data points? Just read them out to me. 8, 8, 7, 5, 8, 11, 5, 9.5, 6, 4.5, 9. You know, I mean, maybe write it on the other side of your note card. That's actually a good idea. This is just our data points for the top, so we're gonna make it together. But table over there in the corner, can you read out your data to me? 3.5, 9.5, and then venture a guess. Okay, we'll do 7.5. Okay, this table did I already get you? Okay, what is it? 11, 7, 7, 5, and then last one. 5 and 8.5. Great. All right, so this is our raw data. Now we're actually going to be doing this outside, but this kind of lets me know how big I should make our human dot plot. All right, so feel free to write them on the other side of your card, but kind of take a moment now if you can. Whenever we're making box plots, it's best if our numbers are in order from least to greatest. So if you have like some extra room on the other side, you can start reordering them from least to greatest. So like find your smallest number. then the next smallest, and then keep going. And I counted 21 students. I feel like we actually have 22. But hang on. First of all, what are the 5 needed values again for making a box plot? The median. Good, sorry, my pen is taking a while to catch up. Median, minimum, maximum. And I think I heard quartile 1. So yeah, the first quartile and the third one. Why is there no second quartile yet? Because that's the median. Pretty good. Look, we're catching on. So then in our data set, what did we establish was the minimum? The 3.5. What did we establish was the maximum? Who was our median? Remind me what your number was? 8. Good. So that means our median of our data is 8. There's 2 people with the first quartile. So when there's 2 people, we actually take the average. So who did I have hold the first quartile? There was 2. All right, and your number was 7, and then what was the other number? Who did you hold it with? It was her, right? Your number in the data was what, 6.5? Okay. So we'll find the true first quartile here in a second. Who had to hold the third quartile? What was your number? No, yours was 9.5 and yours was. So that one's easy when it's the same number, because when I take the average of 9.5 and 9.5, my third quartile ends up being 9.5. All right. When they're different numbers, take the average of them. So someone maybe on your phone, just pull out your calculator. What's 7 plus 6.5? 13.5. And then what's 13.5 divided by 2? 6.75. Which, if you notice, is the middle point between 6.5 and 7. All right, is it possible for someone's shoe size to be 6.75? No, they don't make shoes in that size. But that's what our first quartile is. It's the median of our lower half. All right. So questions on our data. So we're on a box plot, and actually since our minimum is 3.5 and our maximum is 11, how big should we make our number last? Like, what number do you think we should start at? Do you want to start at exactly 3.5? 2 could be a good place to start. Do you want to count by 1? Do you want to count by half? Okay, so then 2.5. I actually won't label the ones in the middle. I'll just label every other one. So this one will be 2.5. This one will be 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, bigger. 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, and 10.5, 11. Sorry, we're just gonna have to squeeze that in. And those 5 data summary, 5-member summary, whatever, those are the ones that get the dots. So that was our minimum, which is 3.5, which would be here on the number line. Our maximum, which was 11. Our median, which was 8. Our third quartile, which was 9.5. And our first quartile, which was 6.75. Here. In between the 6.5 and the 7. Questions on why I put the dots in those places? Good there. And which dots get lines through them? Which ones get vertical lines through them? The 3 in the middle, the Q1, Q2, and Q3. That makes your box. Your whiskers connect your minimum and your maximum. Where did we see the most people at? If this were the picture outside, where were most of the people? On the whiskers or the box? On the box itself. And there is kind of you. Maybe in the future when I do this lesson, I'll make sure that we make the implementation. All right, but a ton of you were here, and then a quarter of you were spread out here, and the other quarter of you were spread out here. Half of you were in the middle, in the box. Questions on that? All right. Let's see what else. So this will give you a preview of what we're doing on Monday. So maybe I'll tell you now since Monday is a short day. And that way we can just kind of get rocking and rolling. So Monday we'll be creating box plots. I'll assign you your tables, each a different set of data. And there's up to A through F. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. All right. And on a poster kind of paper, this is what it actually looks like. You guys will put the box plot for your data. All right, so you'll probably make a rough draft as a team, and then you'll make a final copy and put it on this paper. We will then tape it around the room, and then you'll have a set of questions that says something along the lines of, which one has the highest maximum? Which one has the highest minimum? All right, and that's how you'll do the activity on Monday. Any questions? All right, we can't really start today. So let's see. Yeah, we'll start the activity on Monday. So if you want to take like the last few minutes and just make sure you have your stuff turned in from the previous days, so that way when I update grades this weekend, it is great. We'll pick up the lesson here on Monday. I'm gonna collect the big cards, not the little.